It is winter, the days are short and cold, and it is the perfect time of year to do a whole lot of outdoor cooking. First of all, you'll probably have a fire going anyway for warmth, and it's a great way to warm you from the inside out and raise spirits as well. So I'm going to be doing a whole lot of cooking in the upcoming months, and I'll likely be filming a few of those for you guys on here as well. But I thought as a nice start, it would be good to have a look at my utensil roll. So this is the utensils and equipment that I take with me virtually any time I do cooking. Now, I'm a big believer in a kit system mentality. So that's where, if you are going to do carving, you'll take the shop toolbox, and that'll have a lot of things in there that you don't think you need, and it'll also have the things that you do. So rather than every time you run a session going, okay, well, I'll have a pair of secateurs because we'll need that for this, we'll need a drill for that, but I'm going to leave the knives, we likely won't need those. I bring the whole box. If I'm doing something with tools, I'll bring all of the tools, because that's kind of really where our forest school approach comes in, and a good bushcraft approach as well. It's thinking about where the session could go, and potentially it could go in a direction that you don't expect. So if you are, say, cooking an apple crumble and you've brought all of the ingredients, you've brought flour, you've brought apples or whatever, and then one of the children goes, I would really like to make an apple pie because I don't like apple crumble. Now this child might well be one that doesn't usually engage very much with the cooking process. So you want to be there to jump on that opportunity and go, okay, cool, let's make apple pie. And unless you have brought everything with you, then chances are you won't be able to make the most of this. Obviously, if you have got a permanent site and all of your kit and equipment is just living in a container or shed just a couple of meters away, then this doesn't apply, because you're likely to be able to hop in and hop out and get the stuff you need. But if you're like me and you're a pack in, pack out session, or you are doing sessions away from base camp or from your normal base of operations, having everything you need in one kit, it means when you are out in the middle of the woods with 20 cans of beans and no can opener, you're not completely stuck. So we'll go through everything I have in my tool roll, discuss a few bits and pieces about the uses and why I've chosen the particular pieces, and hopefully it will be helpful for you. So if that sounds interesting to you, keep watching and we'll get right into it in a mo. So first of all, starting with the packaging. So this is a canvas tool roll I've made myself. I originally made it for the utensils I had at the time, and so everything had its own place and had its own little slot that was specifically sized to that. But because I've modified bits and pieces in and out, I have to change it, but it kind of all still fits. And what this does is just holds it all together, so this can just live in a kit, and then when I want to say do some cooking, I'll usually have a table like this out to the side, kind of close to the cooking area but not close enough that it gets covered in ashes, and then I can just unroll it out. Now this is version 1 of this tool roll, so likely I'll find a way to make a way for it to hang up or something else, because the problem at the moment is that this gets quite dusty. So whether you have it in a box, which is a lot better for keeping things clean and organized and tidy, this is nice for organization. So if you did want to make yourself one of these, I can do a tutorial, just let me know if you have interest, but essentially just fold over the edge stitch along the top, and you just go stitch pockets in according to the size of your utensils. So coming from my left to right, we have knives. Now it's handy if you can find a knife that comes with its own sheath, but if you don't, you can buy, these are generic knife sheaths. They are very useful, just a little Velcro catch there. That means we can keep the knife secure and stops it from kind of making holes in the bottom of our canvas bag. So I usually have a meat knife and a veggie knife, and these are nice big ones. These ones are pretty much designed for adult use, for doing lots of food prep in one go. Do a lot of catering. So this another thing I should probably say is this is kind of my basic kit that I take everywhere, but then I have more utensils and bigger utensils that I then take with for if I'm doing, say, a bigger catering event. So knives, big ones, one of each. I like separating, having a separate knife for meat and for veggies. Then probably one of the most useful tools you'll have is a pair of tongs. Get them with the metal clips. Make sure that they are good quality so they line up well. If they're not, if the front isn't, the tips aren't strong enough and firm enough, then you just won't be able to hold on to anything. But used for turning sausages, moving veggies around. You can also use it for moving coals from underneath the fire pit onto the top of your Dutch ovens to make an oven, so on. Really handy to have. Then we have spatulas. So I've got one of these IKEA. I do a really nice utensil set. One of these solid stainless steel spatulas. You of course want ones that aren't too flexible and that are solid. I try to go for one-piece construction for most things if I can. If it has a handle, that's kind of another point of failure, and the cheaper ones usually have really cheap handles, and those will just come apart with kind of the heavy-duty use that we put them to in the outdoors. And then I also have a kind of little cheap wooden spatula. I did originally have a carved set of wooden utensils, but those have gone missing who knows where, and I haven't got around to carving a new set yet. Whether you use stainless steel or wood, it depends. Stainless steel will be a little bit easier to care for. It'll be a little less likely to break or damage or take on the taste and or color of food, but it's mostly personal choice. The stainless steel and metals will conduct the heat a lot, whereas a wooden spoon you can leave in a pot and it won't conduct the heat as much. So then moving along, I have two paring knives. Now I've got one serrated and one straight blade. So these are the ones that the children tend to use, and I'm currently looking at getting a knife set specifically for children. So these are both Kuhn Recon. They're quite nice. They come with their sheaths. I've temporarily misplaced both of these and get them in brighter colors than these. So these aren't my usual set. They're just in here case. But I find children work better with a straight blade because they'll tend to try and muscle through rather than sawing. But if they can get good sawing technique, then I feel serrated blades are safer because you'd actually have to keep going to give yourself any sort of bad cut. We'll talk about children and cooking knives another point. So spoons again, similar, just cheap one, and the other part of the IKEA set there. So serving spoons, really handy to use if you are going to be making anything with more of a soupy consistency. Getting a ladle in is quite a good idea. Get a nice stainless steel ladle. I have a little mini whisk, and this is where you can kind of see what I was talking about with a multiple piece construction. I can actually pull apart the handle somewhat. It moves around. There's lots of bits and pieces moving. This is a relatively cheap one. I think I got this from Morrison's or something. But it's nice having a little whisk here. It gives you a little bit of flexibility, whether you're whisking up cream for to serve with an apple pie, or just getting some sauce, adding some thickener to a sauce, so adding a bit of flour. It's handy to have. Can opener. Now I do travel with a small army style can opener that goes in my bushcraft bag, just in case, but can opener is part of the kit because if you forget it and you have a can that needs opening, things get awkward quite quickly. Nice big heavy duty pair of shears. You could get away for most things with a normal knife, but having a nice heavy duty set of shears, it's just easier to use, safer to use, and better for clients. A thermometer. If you are working with meat, this is, I'd say, is essential. So it takes the guesswork out of, is this meat done? Am I going to poison everyone? Really handy to have. They're so cheap. I would say just get a whole lot of them, have them in different kits. Handy ones have the cooking temperatures written on them, but as we all know, those aren't always the most accurate. But yeah, cooking thermometer, absolutely vital piece of equipment if you are working with like fish or meat. So this one I get a lot of questions about. I searched a while for this because this is a tool roll. Conventional mashers don't really work well in it. So I thought there must be a solution out there. So searching for collapsible folding potato masher yielded this. It's quite a nice new design. You push the sides in and then you can flip it up and you have a masher. And this has worked really well. It's been heavy duty enough to mash a whole lot of mashed potato. This is good also if you are doing any kind of like jams or crumbles or whatever, and you want to kind of press the fruit around. We've also used it, if you flip it this way around, it's really nice to get fried foods out of oil. So you can scoop it in, get elderflower fritters, oil, so it acts as a slotted spoon. So multi-use, really handy to have, and said it slots flat. It's folding. Basting brush, this is a thing that when I forget to put it back in, I actually end up missing a whole lot more than I expect to. So right from kind of brushing on top of a pastry, coating a jacket potato, there's so many uses. Get a nice basting brush, pop it in. I like to have metal wherever possible. Plastic and fires don't really mix very well. And peelers, so just get a good solid metal peeler. Don't go for those terrible plastic ones. Just get something that will last, that will stand up to abuse. If I'm doing a session with a group where multiple people will be involved in food prep, then I will get like 4 or 5 peelers, and that's a good way to get a lot of people involved all at once and get through a bag of potatoes or apples really quickly. So there we go, that is my basic cook kit. Like I say, I supplement it. This is not the kind of thing that I would take if I was going out to the woods on my own to just cook something simple. I have a completely different set for that. Like I say, kit for every occasion, and then also going, okay, do I need the big cooking for 100 people kit, or do I need the small forest school 20 person kit? And that way, by having different kits and duplicates of items, means I can scale up and down quite quickly. And I know if I'm doing cooking and I have this utensil roll, then I'll be a long way towards having everything I need. Then with a couple of pots and pans and some washing up stuff, I'm pretty much set for most meals. And in the end, if I'm missing something from here, bring in those bushcraft skills and see whether I can whittle up a pair of tongs or some skewers or something else. It's really simple. So okay, that's basic kit. Hopefully this has given you some inspiration for your own utensil roll or forest school or bushcraft cooking kit. We'll take a look at more cooking resources and cooking equipment in future videos, as well as hopefully getting some more outdoor cooking in as the weather gets cooler. So before we close out, I want to say another thank you to Wellness Woodlands for hosting me here and making these videos possible. It's really nice having a quiet area, steam trains accepted, to do some filming, and hopefully we'll be doing a bit more outdoor cookery over here as well. So thank you so much for watching and listening. Remember to make the most of every day, and I'll see you all next time.